Attention sports enthusiasts and loyal Ateneo fans. The peak of excitement may have settled after the UAAP season, but your support for Team Ateneo should never waver. Show your unwavering spirit by proudly donning your favorite Get Blued merchandise. We have amazing news for you. You can now find the most extensive selection of authentic Ateneo gear at both Shopee Mall and Laz Mall. Gear up and embrace the blue and white pride with Get Blued's top-notch apparel. And remember, always buy original. Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. I am your host Naveen Ganglani. Now, for those who have been listening to the podcast for a while, I'm sure many of you are wondering why we went so long without an episode, almost half a month actually. And the reason for that is because I finally took a much needed vacation. I was in Vietnam from August 2 to 12, and in the last few days I've been catching up back to work. We're recording this Wednesday, August 16. And when I was in Vietnam, so I visited three places, specifically Hoi An. I then went to Hanoi and also did a little cruise along Halong Bay to celebrate my wife's 30th birthday. And it was not exactly the most chill vacation, I would say, because of the traveling, the moving around, but Vietnam still has its beauties. It's a country that I would suggest many people to visit. Great food, great coffee, amazing coffee. The Vietnamese coffee, when you have it there in Vietnam itself, it hits differently. And the food, again, the pho, the banh mi, oh my god, the banh mi, amazing. And just so many options with the local cuisine that's worth trying out, that's worth checking out. So you can go with your family, go with your friends. It's not too pricey. It's a little bit noisy. You'll hear a lot of beeps, a lot of motorcycles. Not exactly the most tranquil place, I would say, but definitely a great country to visit. A lot of history as well, especially if you like stories about wars and about the past and how countries come to rise. I would like to visit Vietnam again in the future. I'm looking forward to coming back, or going back rather. But until then, well, now it's time to get back to work, time to get back to the swing of things. Of course, August is going to be a busy time in the calendar. We have the FIBA World Cup coming up in about 9 days from the time I'm recording this. And then right after the FIBA World Cup, we get a little break, and then we have college basketball season, NCAA, UAAP. And then not long after that begins, we have the NBA season starting again, and then we have NFL starting in September as well. US NCAA, a lot of the stuff that I cover. So I'm very excited. I feel refreshed. I feel recharged. I'm excited to come out with more podcast episodes, even podcast episodes like this, like quick analysis, quick reporting. And I'm really stoked. I think the end of 2023 in terms of sports is going to be very exciting. I wish Damian Lillard was already traded to Miami at this point, but that hasn't happened yet. I don't think that's going to happen until the NBA season begins, to be honest, but I think it will eventually happen. And a lot to be excited about. The UAAP is going to be amazing this year, super exciting. The NCAA is going to be a lot of fun. And of course, with the FIBA World Cup coming up, we're going to get to experience one hell of a basketball event, a spectacle unlike anything we've ever seen in recent memory, a spectacle we might not see again for a long time. And that just makes it so fun, so intriguing to get to cover that, to see all the NBA players live, the international players live, to see how Gilas, our national team, will do. That's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, I'm very excited to get to meet Eric Spoelstra. Hopefully we get to interview him as part of media. So more to come on that. But before we get to those exciting parts, of course, there's some stuff to discuss until then. Some mini reports that I've posted on my social media. I've shared on my community chats on Facebook Messenger that I want to discuss for the podcast listeners. So first, some news about the DLSU Green Archers. Penny Estacio, who was recruited by Derek Pomaran and played his first season with LaSalle in season 85. The word that I've heard from sources is he's going to leave DLSU. He plans to eventually transfer to another school. Now, Penny has a lot of potential. He's a good shooter, doesn't have a lot of size, not super quick, but he's a good shooter. He's crafty with the ball. He's just been hounded with injuries, I would say. He battled some injuries last UAP season. This preseason before season 86, he missed a lot of the Philoil games, the other off-season tune-ups because he was recovering from a plantar fasciitis injury in his foot. And what I heard was that it just seemed like the system that Coach Topex was trying to implement in LaSalle and how Penny fit into that didn't exactly go hand in hand. And there was a good chance that he might not have been lined up for season 86 in the LaSalle roster, given how deep the talent pool is. And having seen the writing on the wall, Penny asked permission, or rather informed LaSalle that he would probably be leaving. Now, again, I think Penny Estacio still has a lot of potential in him. He can still be a good college basketball player wherever he ends up. And I think that a team would be fortunate to have him. Now, who is that team? I don't know quite yet. Well, because Penny is still finalizing the process of leaving LaSalle. And this is just me guessing right now. It's not a report. It's just me guessing, like I mentioned. But it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in FEU, where he actually played his high school basketball. I think that's a school that he could feel familiar in, given the continuity of the FE program from high school to college. A lot of the guys there now were teammates of his back in the day. And I'm sure he'd feel a little bit at home there, that they would have a spot for him. But let's see, to be determined, of course, anything can happen. So much recruitment going on still. As we get closer to the UAAP season, a lot of moves that I can't quite share myself yet, but moves taking place behind the scenes and eventually will come out. Now, another interesting tidbit that we should mention is Jacob Bayla, the Phil Am Nation standout from California. He's now 6'6". He is incredibly skilled. He's only 17 years old. He's got a great mid-range shot. He's got a great three-point shot. He is working on his slashing game. His athleticism is improving. And the potential is there enough that Ivy League schools such as Cornell University, Brown, Princeton, and Columbia have shown interest. Now, I want to clarify there are no offers yet, no scholarships being handed out yet. Ivy League schools do not hand out athletic scholarships, but they do hand out academic scholarships. And Jacob is a 4.22 GPA student, so he would fit the mold of what an academic standout has to be in that kind of Ivy League university if he decides to go there. Now, here in the UAAP, he is still sought out by DLSU and UP. The last time the Bayla spoke to Ateneo was back in January, but there hasn't been a lot of no communication actually at all since then. So I'm not sure if Ateneo is exactly quite in the picture right now. So it might come down to UP and LaSalle here in the Philippines. But of course, with the Ivy League schools now a factor in the United States, that's an opportunity that would be hard to pass up on if Jacob does ultimately get that offer or that scholarship. Now, even if he does go to an Ivy League school, that doesn't mean that the UAAP or the Philippines is completely out of the picture. By the way, Jacob already has a Philippine passport. He's played for the national youth team. So he should be one of the Gilas names to watch out for in the future. Even if Jacob, say, he plays a few years in the United States in the Ivy League and then decide that he wants to come to the Philippines, he can do that. Even if he does play all 4 years for his Ivy League university in the US, he could still come to the Philippines and play as a one-and-done student, as a master student here in the UAAP. And I'm sure that he's only going to get better. He was trained by the former coach of NBA star DeMar DeRozan in Compton. And he's only getting better. He's only improving. He keeps working on his athleticism, his explosiveness. And that's one name to really watch out for in the future because of how good he already is, how good he's going to even be in the future. And he's also a good kid, stand-up kid, smart, humble, down to earth, raised by two parents who are very supportive of him. Great environment where he has flourished. And whichever school ends up getting him, whether that's one of the Ivy League schools, another university in the US, because who knows, he has one more year of high school ball, he might get more offers, or even either that's UP or LaSalle, whoever that school is will be very fortunate to have him.
When it comes to cleaning a home or office, most people just know the basics. Mopping the floor, wiping off dust and dirt is pretty standard. While all that can make a place look clean, it doesn't mean it is clean. Making a place truly clean and virus-free requires a professional help. That's where the cleaning coach comes in. The cleaning coach provides outstanding general cleaning, commercial cleaning, post-construction cleanup, upholstery cleaning, floor, carpet cleaning, aircon cleaning, and disinfection at a very reasonable price. The cleaning coach and his team will do all the scrubbing, dusting, polishing, disinfecting, and sanitizing, so you won't have to. making your place look clean that you can also smell and feel. You will experience the difference. Now that's stress-free cleaning to a better normal, done professionally by the cleaning coach. Contact the cleaning coach today to learn more.
Okay, so over the weekend, one of the major events that I got to watch, not live, but here in the Philippines, was the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, the Naismith Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And I was quite invested in it. Like, I'm sure many of you of my listeners were as well, because the guys inducted into the Hall of Fame were people we grew up watching in the NBA, people we grew up building that connection to, even if they don't know who we are. We watch them. We woke up in the mornings to watch them play. We stayed up at night to watch their games. We cried when they lost. We celebrated when they won. I'm talking about guys like Pau Gasol, Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, Greg Popovich, and of course, Dwyane Wade, the greatest Miami Heat player ever. Now, let's make this clear. LeBron James is the greatest player to ever play for the Miami Heat, because LeBron James, in my opinion, is the second greatest player to ever play in the NBA. But if we're talking about just the greatest player of the franchise of the Miami Heat ever, it's no question that's Dwyane Wade. He has 3 NBA championships with the Heat, led the Heat to their first ever NBA franchise championship. He is the Miami Heat. He put the Miami Heat on the map as a franchise, as a legit franchise. And the way he just conducted his speech, conducted himself the whole weekend. By the way, that moment where he said the weekend was therapy between him and Dirk because of the beef they had all those years ago was just so hilarious, because it was so true and was really nice and wholesome to see them come together almost like friends and put that aside. Hey, Dallas Maverick fans on social media, you guys should take notes. But the speech of Wade, the tribute he paid to Allen Iverson was incredible, because Wade and Iverson were two of the guys that many of us now who are older watched growing up. To some degree, I was, enamored by the NBA to begin with because of Iverson, the sleeve, the headband, the hair, the tattoos. And to see Wade pay tribute to Iverson on that stage was just amazing to watch. And it was fantastic. And it just spoke to the elegance and the class and the character of who Dwyane Wade was, why he was always so revered. Now, he wasn't perfect, he wasn't flawless. Like many human beings, he also made mistakes. But for the most part, he conducted himself to such a high standard that made him an idol to so many, not just because of his basketball skills, but because of the human being he was too. And when we talk about the basketball skills, Dwyane Wade was incredible. Injuries robbed him of becoming one of the 10 greatest NBA players of all time. I really believe that. The way he would be shifty and pick and roll, the way he had that mid-range game to a T, his floaters, his bank shots, his old man game, the post up, the up and under, the head fakes, and the elite defense. For anyone who still thinks James Harden is a better player than Dwyane Wade was, please watch the defensive side of the ball too, because it's not even close in that regard. And if Dwyane Wade had the consistent 3-point shot, my God, imagine how much better he would have been. And he was already great. Kobe Bryant, during one interview, once said Dwyane Wade was the hardest guy he ever had to defend on the screen and roll, because once Dwyane Wade came off that pick, he would disappear. He could be shifty, go left, go right, sidestep, Euro step. Ask Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett knows all about that Euro step. And he was just so incredible with his footwork and speed. And more than anything, it was his belief in himself, which he once again reiterated during his speech, where his belief was always stronger than the doubt of other people. And that carried him, that fueled him, and it was inspiring. And for him to shout out all these teammates, Chris Bosh, LeBron James, Mario Chalmers, of course, Shaquille O'Neal, and also guys like Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, guys who have helped him over the years. And then to have his dad come up on the stage for that final moment was a tearjerker. It brought tears to my eyes because it was so special, so human, so genuine. And in that second, it went just beyond basketball. It went beyond points and wins and losses. It was a journey culminating, in his own words, entering basketball heaven. And it was beautiful to watch. It was amazing to watch Dwyane Wade's career. It was amazing to follow him as a Heat fan, almost like he was a family member, going through his struggles, the injuries, the off-court drama, revering in the joys of the championships, the game winners. the fantastic performances, standing on the table shouting, "This is my house," being called Flash. To be part of that journey, even from halfway across the world, was so special. And Dwyane Wade, to see you enter the Hall of Fame, nothing felt more right. Congratulations, Dwyane Wade. Now, one more topic I want to bring up before I end this quick podcast session. Quickie podcast session. Can we call it that? I didn't get to watch the premiere of Blue Beetle on August 15, Tuesday at SM Mega Mall. First of all, I want to thank SM for the invite. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend because I was still catching up to a bunch of work after getting back in town. I will be in attendance for the premiere of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next Tuesday, which I'm so excited about. My Kawabanga! Sorry, okay, I'm geeking out. But anyway, so after the movie, I was speaking on our pop culture group chat with some friends who attended the movie, particularly Glenn Mark Flash Antonio, who, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know of him. And he apparently told me a story where there was one person invited, technically a plus one, who was recording the movie while it was going on, got to record the post-credit scenes as well. First of all, do you not have any brain cells to think of, to even consider recording a movie in a movie premiere? A movie freaking premiere. I mean, the audacity. The audacity. Anyway, so I don't want to name names, and I don't even know the name of the person. I just got a picture of who it was because the other media personnel, cosplayers, special invites in attendance were unhappy, obviously, that this guy, shameless, was recording the movie even if he was being told by everyone around him to stop doing it. And he kept doing it anyway. And then eventually his phone was confiscated at the end. And he had the audacity, again, the audacity to get mad, to be upset. Are you kidding me? Anyway, rant over. But this just brought up a conversation in my head about cinema etiquette post-pandemic. And some of the guys, we were talking in the group chat about this, was how, and I've noticed this too, having watched movies, premieres and not premieres in the cinema since the pandemic ended, about how people just seem to be way too comfortable now in cinemas. I'm not sure if that's just me, but a lot of people who I've watched movies with, people I don't know, of course, seem to be way too relaxed, feeling like it's their home. Now, maybe a lot of people got used to watching movies, TV series at home with their comfy setups because of the pandemic. But I think we need a reminder, a refresher in cinema etiquette. First of all, please be mindful that if you're extending your legs, trying to find a comfortable seat, you might be hitting the seat in front of you. I've experienced that more now than I did before the pandemic. People just seem to not care anymore if they hit seats at the back of your chair. Or those who use their phones during the movie without a care to lower the brightness, to play games on their phones, to talk loudly. And I don't want to sound like an old guy complaining, "Hey, get off my yard." I know I kind of sound like that right now, but I just think that it's important still to be mindful and accountable of ourselves when we do go to cinemas and watch movies, considering we're doing it with other people. Something simple like just be mindful of how loudly you're chewing your popcorn. I mean, we're all there to celebrate or to watch that movie at the same time. And I know we're all there. We want to be comfortable and enjoy the process of how we watch these movies. But still, we have to be mindful there are other people around too who are paying hard earned money, or rather spending their time to watch movies too. And they deserve that respect. And I wish that even if we've gotten used to, being way too comfortable during the pandemic when you watch movies and TV series. I mean, I know I did, but once we're with other people, let's remember to be respectful, given that everyone's time and everyone's resources to get to watch these movies, you know, are hard earned. And we don't want to ruin the experience for them. So if you're watching a movie this weekend, if you're planning to check out cinemas, just a reminder, please be mindful of that. Please be mindful of the people around you, even those who might not say anything to you. Like if you're being way too loud, that doesn't mean you might not be bothering them. And let's just be respectful and kind to everyone. That's all. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to post more podcasts coming up soon. I've got one podcast soon of an interview I did before I went on vacation with a UAAP player that's coming out. I'm excited to have that release, and I'm excited to have more guests soon. Again, exciting times ahead for sports. I will do a podcast most likely about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next Tuesday, and that's going to be great. And until then, do follow my work. Follow me on social media: Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok. I do have a pretty significant article coming out. I'm going to leave it at that first because I can't reveal much other information yet. But it's going to be it's an article that I would say will be challenging to write. I haven't started yet. I've started transcribing, but it's going to be one that I feel a lot of people are going to read. That's why I'm trying to treat it with as much respect as possible. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now, but watch out for that. I'll be posting the link on my socials. I'll be talking a little bit about it on my podcast too. And that's it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you to our sponsors, Green Blooded, Get Blued, The Cleaning Coach. Make sure to check out the links of their products on the description box. Watch the advertisements. And can't wait to talk to all of you soon. Take care, everybody. LaSalle fans and Ateneo supporters, the crown is back in Taft. Now is the best time to secure the most incredible DLSU merchandise in the market to celebrate the Lady Spikers title conquest of Season 85. Green Blooded's championship t-shirt is something you do not want to miss out on. It comes in 3 different colors with the name of each champion spiker on the back, names that will be remembered forever. What better way to celebrate this unforgettable season? So visit Green Blooded on Shopee now and show off your Ateneo spirit.